Hey, good morning, class. Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
Good.
No. Okay, so guys, today we're gonna talk about an important topic. If you have ever noticed, have you ever noticed? From their face. If someone is shady or if someone is nice. Have you ever noticed from their expressions?
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about a very controversial topic. The topic is physiognomy. Past, let's say a few centuries ago, or even like 20, 30, 40 decades ago, this theory, everyone used to believe that this theory is true. But now, let's say because so guys, what we call this theory, this theory is physiognomy. And anyone in this class know, what physiognomy is? If you know about the history of physiognomy or any details about the physiognomy. Physiognomy is the study of how facial features can define an individual's character or personality.
So physiognomy traces all the way back to ancient Greece, where Aristotle first proposed that a person's outer appearance reflects their inner nature. He believed that if someone had strong, well-defined features, they were probably courageous, while softer features might indicate a gentler personality. Later in the 1500s, Giovanni Battista della Porta took things a step further, literally comparing people's faces to animals. If someone resembled a lion, he thought they must be brave, and if they looked like a fox, well, then they're sneaky. But the person who really popularized physiognomy was Johann Caspar Lavater in the 18th century. His book's essays on physiognomy made people believe that faces could reveal personality traits. It made people believe that just by studying a face, they could tell if someone was honest, intelligent, or even a criminal. So the first one is Franz Joseph Gall, the second one is Johann Caspar Lavater, and the third one is Cesar Lombroso.
Oh, that's really interesting, So people really believe that even just by looking at the facial features of someone, you could really determine what the person's character is or what the person is thinking about. So what exactly were the key ideas behind this theory? So if anyone wants to volunteer about this, if you know what's the key ideas behind this.
The big idea behind physiognomy was that the face reveals the soul. This means that everything from the shape of your nose to the shape of your forehead supposedly told people something about your personality. The main idea behind was that the facial features were directly linked to the personality and morality. A symmetrical face was thought to indicate honesty and intelligence, while ugly features were unfairly associated with dishonesty or aggression. Della Porta even compared human faces to animals, saying that if you resembled a lion, you must be brave, or if you looked like a fox, you were sneaky. And do not forget facial expressions. They believed that if you frowned a lot, you were naturally mean, but if you had a naturally upturned mouth, you were probably kind and trustworthy. The assumption was that facial expressions reflected inner emotions like a furrowed brow, meaning someone was angry or aggressive. Then the main idea was that your personality is fixed. Physiognomists did not believe in personal growth. If your face looked untrustworthy at birth, well, tough luck. No matter how much you learned or changed, your face post determined your destiny. So, in summary, physiognomy was full of wild assumptions, and yet people took it seriously for centuries.
So no, that was really great, Mahak. It was really, that was some great words and all. What are you doing, Dipanshu?
Just scrolling Instagram.
You can't scroll that in my class.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. So, did any physiognomists actually try to prove these ideas with research, or that was just their opinions? Did anyone try to do any research or something in that?
Oh yes, Professor, they certainly tried. They used several methods. Levator, for example, would compare drawings of people's faces and link them to certain personality traits. He even worked with the artist to create illustrations that supposedly proved his claims. Like, imagine walking into a room and someone just looked at your nose and decides you are not trustworthy. That's basically how it works.
Yeah, that sounds good.
The problem? None of their methods follow the scientific method. No control groups, no objective analysis, just a lot of sketchy comparisons.
They relied more on personal observations than actual science. That brings us to an important question. Why was physiognomy ultimately discredited? Anyone has any idea about this?
Physiognomy was rejected because it simply wasn't a science. There was no real proof that the facial feature determined the personality. Scientists tried to test these claims but found no consistent patterns. No, the actual experiments, no reliable data, just a bunch of old guys looking at the faces and making the guesses. Scientists found that the physiognomy was based on subjective opinions, not repeatable experiments. Worse, physiognomy wasn't just inaccurate, it was dangerous, reinforced with the stereotypes and discrimination, promoting racist and classist ideas. People were unfairly judged based on their looks rather than on their actions. Today, we know that the personality is shaped by the genetics, environment, and the experience, not the facial structure. There was also a confirmation biases. Physiognomists only notice the example that fit their theory. If they believe the big eye equal to honesty, they only remember honest people with big eyes and ignore the honest people with small eyes. It get worse. In legal system, some judges actually believe in this stuff. People with suspicion looking faces more likely be convicted with crimes even they were innocent. Can you imagine going to court and losing a case because your nose shape, because of your nose shape? And ethically, physiognomy is a nightmare. It teaches people to judge others based on their appearance instead of personality and action. It took centuries, but modern physiology finally debunked it. Scientists found no connection between facial features and intelligence, morality, or the personality. Today, we know that we come from mix of genes, environment, and life experiences, not the size of our foreheads.
So that was an excellent point. But even through physiognomy was debunked, do we still see any influence today about physiognomy or no?
Yes, Professor. So even today, attractive people have more influence in the job interviews, and also like in criminal profiling, also suspicious-looking people are hold to checking, and like AI facial recognition software also do bias things, judging people unfairly. Even in movies, villains have evil features, and like in some cultures like Vietnam and China, they also believe in face reading. It's a popular thing there. People believe that facial features can predict people's fate, personality, and how will be their career built in the future.
Oh, I mean, that's a great observation, Brahman. So while we can just agree on that science has rejected physiognomy, it still affects how we still see the world. So if anyone can, just share one point, what can we learn from this? What did we learn from today's class?
To never judge a book by its cover or a person by their face.
Science needs real evidence, but not assumptions based on appearance.
History shows how dangerous pseudoscience can be when it influences society.
We should be aware of our biases and avoid judging people based on their looks.
And we should also focus on person's action, not on their face.
Absolutely, guys. Well said. So let's always remember that character is not defined by the appearance. So the main lesson here is that we shouldn't judge people based on their looks. Instead, we should focus on their actions, their character, and the choices they make. Science moves forward by challenging old ideas and discovering new ones. And as students and members of society, it's up to us to do the same. Great discussions today, everyone, and thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for not using the phone. And so guys, do you have any questions for me right now? Yeah.
So, what can we say physiognomy in one line?
Physiognomy is like, for example, you just read a person's mind by reading their expressions. So if, let's say, if the person is behaving nicely and if he has nice expressions, you just pretend, you just believe that it's nice. So it's just about assuming what's inside them just by looking at their face. And anybody else has any questions in the class?
So, can we trust it?
No, I don't think so.
But
We
why?
just agreed on it, right? Because it's not backed up by the science, any evidences. So it's just a I would say just a belief, but it's not backed by any evidence, so we can't trust it. Do you guys have any other questions in the class?
I heard like detective use these things, art of reading the faces
Yeah.
to get the truth. I think is it any like worthful to get the?
You know what? Some people think it's worth it, but we can't just say that that it's 100% correct. For example, a person can be shady as well, right? For example, if it's a criminal or a thief or someone, then then he gonna say the exact same things to make you believe. So it's not backed up by any evidence, so we can't trust it. And how about Anna and Dipanshu? Do you have any questions or no?
Not clear.
That's suspicious.
Yes.
So are you ready for the quiz?
Suspicious.
Are you ready for the quiz?
Which quiz?
We have a quiz now, man.
Oh really? Let's go.
Let's go where? Open your phone or laptop. We have a quiz now.
I got my laptop in here. Oh sorry about that.
Yeah. And you can't use ChatGPT or anything in the class, right?
I did alone.
Okay, yeah. So you have 20 minutes to finish your quiz. And if you have any questions during the quiz, just ask me quietly so others don't get disturbed. And any other question? Yeah.
Can I use ChatGPT in the quiz?
Absolutely not, man. It's a quiz, not like not a discussion or something. You can't use that.
Can I do it from home?
You gotta do it right now. You have 20 minutes to finish it. You can't leave the classroom. You can't even go out for a washroom break. Yeah.
Will you get grades for this?
Absolutely. That's what a quiz is for. So I have a very supportive password. It's really good for your model support. So the password is amazing.
Oh, it looks familiar.
It looks familiar? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Dipanshu, especially?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Feeling nervous?
Retake.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you all?
Very good.
How are you, Dipanshu?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I want to know more about the physiognomy. It's intriguing topic.
How do you know we're gonna talk about physiognomy?
I just looked at your nose and decide you are not trustworthy. That's basically how it works. Others like Lombros, what is it?
I mean, you're just looking at the
We are
phone.
studying physiognomy. Someone can judge me by my hair.
No, I mean, you're looking at the phone, man. You can't do this in the class.
Alright, just continue.
No, you can't. You need to keep the phone down first. Keep the phone on the table or give it to me.
No.
No, I mean, you can't bring the devices in my class. After the quiz. And you can't use ChatGPT, man, in this, okay? Okay, just put your bag down first.